down to the inside. But around the outside, much deeper. Nearly spins. Side by side here. The wins on his second outing. Then Hoop spins.
Yo, everybody. It's tier 8 again. It's 10 controls again. We're back with some league racing. Today is round 7. We're at ZANDVOORT, the Netherlands. I'm joined by Adam, my co-host. Say what's up.
How's it going?
Today's going to be an interesting one. Obviously, a track that's quite short in nature. It's going to be more difficult to obviously extract the times. And it's going to be closer together, these guys.
It certainly will be close together. I'm looking forward to watching these guys navigate some of these corners. It's a beautiful track. I mean, I don't think they could have picked a better setting for a Formula One track. We get ready to watch one of the Haas drivers down the back straightaway. We look at the current conditions. 68-degree air temp, 84-degree track temp. So track's a little warmer than usual, but shouldn't affect these drivers too much. Casper Grabietz through the final corner. Beautiful 18 degrees of banking in that final corner. Grabietz into turn number 1 as he gets ready to start his lap. Tight hairpin. He has a little traffic to negotiate, but the Alpine will stay out of his way. Grabietz looks like he's on a pretty good lap so far through turn 3. That first high banked corner as he works his way through the middle sector through 4, 5, and 6. He goes purple with a 24.6. This is, of course, the first run of the day for the Haas. Grabietz off of turn 9 through 10. Down the back straightaway, he will go DRS wide open. He'll use a little bit of ERS. A 49.3. We'll have to see how that stacks up to the rest of the field through turns 11 and 12. That final chicane before you get to 13. And this high banked oval-like corner through the final corner. DRS open up to the line. And it's a 110.7. Not a terrible lap there from Grabietz. It's a good banker.
This is his teammate about to cross the line, coming down the straight now. And he's going to cross the line to start his first flying lap.
Fastest first sector of the day. You can see there Octavian Ursu with a 24.4. Antonio Brancati with a 110.5. We watch Romeo Gagliotti through turn 10 down the back straightaway. Cortez goes to the top with a 110.2. Romeo's about 0.3 off. Cortez with the fastest second and third sectors. Octavian still with the fastest first sector. Watch Romeo through the final corner. Right down along that white line. DRS wide open up to the line. It's a 110.6. Good enough for 30. Slots in right behind his teammate.
Octavian goes up to P4. His teammate, he's going to cross the line now. He's going to put in a 110.4 and he's going to go up to P2, the front row provisionally for Chebotarov. That's a nice qualifying lap from him. And I believe Octavian also, he had a moment there in the final sector. I saw yellow flags out for him. And he's not got his time on the board. I think he had a spin there. He's not in the wall, obviously. He's still alive. That's quite good for him, obviously.
So as we watch these guys put in their banker laps, what do you think is the most crucial part of the circuit to get right? To have a time that's in contention for pole?
Well, I think, to be honest, the first sector is one of the most important parts of this track. I think you can gain so much momentum with a good first sector there for the rest of the lap. And in terms of the most time, definitely the middle sector. I believe it's one of the most trickiest corners. Obviously, you got those exit curbs on the outside. If you stray too far wide on these turns, then you're going to bottom out and it's going to take you straight to the barriers. So you have to be quite on the limit, but you step over the limit and it's qualifying over almost.
We will keep that in mind as we watch Andre Mahach right along the white line, down the main straightaway. Up to 5th goes Mahach. So obviously we see in... Oh, Andre off the track a little bit. We see in a series like NASCAR, you know, when they have one of these high banked corners, a lot of people taking the high line rather than right along the bottom. Do you think that's something we'll see today?
Well, I think obviously the drivers kind of have two different approaches to that corner. It's going to be up to preference. They can go deep and use the banking. But you see Melander, he prefers to stay quite close to the inside. So it really depends on what works for these guys.
Tavian 0.06 of a second off Cortez through the first sector. Turns 8 and 9. One of the widest sections of this racetrack. You're right on the shore of the English Channel. Because it's not the channel at this point. It's one of the seas. I don't remember which sea it is. Through the second sector, Ursu went green, not purple, unfortunately. He'll straddle that white line through the final corner. He'll open DRS up to the line, and it's good enough for 4th, a 110.5. Not a bad lap from the Ferrari, but he is just 0.3 of a second off Cortez, who currently is at the top.
Yeah, I mean, pay attention. Cortez dominating the sector boards. Being at the fastest lap at the moment, provisionally on pole position. Take a look at the driver standings right now. The ones to watch, Urso and Brancati for the championship. Only 24 points between them. So Antonio has some catch up to do. He wants to lift that trophy at the end of the season. It's so close there in the midfield. I mean, look at P4 down to P13. They're so... I mean, you can look all the way down. Points are very, very close together.
Yeah, it's just a race that separates P4 to P13. I believe it's at 25 or 26 points. We watch Cortez, I believe, on his warm-up lap. We're on the banks of the North Sea. Cortez through turn number 10. He sets up for this back straightaway, warming up his tires. We watch one of the Alfa Romeos. Across the line goes a Haas. Cortez now through turn 13. He'll get DRS out of the final corner. Cortez gets ready to start his lap. Let's see if he can just extend his advantage a tiny bit here with 9 minutes to go in this qualifying session. He's got the fastest sector in just about every sector. Cortez has a little bit of traffic ahead as he works his way through turns 5 and 6. It shouldn't affect him. The Mercedes will pull off into the grass. Oh, there goes Cortez! He's around and he backs himself into the wall in the sand trap at the exit of turn 7. That is
Oh,
not
he's disqualified!
ideal.
He's got disqualified! Oh my god, he got disqualified for going the wrong way. That is so unfortunate. That's going to put him all the way to last. He was on pole and now he's lost. What the hell? That is an EA moment right there. He was trying to get himself out of the gravel trap. That is just unfortunate. Brancati right now, he's half a tenth up on what Cortez's first sector was. But right now, Cortez's time does not stand. He won't be on pole position.
Antonio Brancati through turn 10. He'll set up for the back straightaway. DRS open, using a tiny bit of ERS as we watch Anton Chebatarov through the first sector. Brancati through turns 11 and 12. That red and white Alfa Romeo. He's got a tiny bit of traffic ahead. It's one of the Alpines. Grabiet's up to 5th. Brancati through the final corner. He'll open DRS. Up to the line. Dallin McTeer to the top. And Brancati will stay in 4th. He does improve a little bit as he's shifted down to 5th as Romeo up to 4th. Chebatarov now down the back straightaway he'll go. Into turn 11 and 12. He's 0.04 of a second off. I believe that was Cortez's second sector. Chebatarov through the final 2 corners. He'll use a little bit more banking, still straddling that white line. DRS open up to the line, and Chebatarov to the top.
There he goes. Provisional pole for Chebatarov of a 10.2. He's just made it. Mahach, they're up to P3. He gets a 10.4 himself. We've got a couple of other people now crossing the line. Clark is going to go into the pits.
Chebatarov and McTeer, 1-2 at the top. It's an Alpine party. Octavian Arsu straight to the top. A 1:10.1. A beautiful lap from that Ferrari. That was quite a run there.
Yeah, that one came out of nowhere. I didn't even know Octavian was on a lap. But he pulled it out of the bag. And he's on pole by a 1/10.5 over the Alpines. And Alpines need some good points for the constructors. They've been lacking a little bit. Obviously, Dallin's got a bit unlucky the last couple of races. We had that incident in Miami, which, if some of you may notice, that's what Thomas Vink is retired for, serving his qualifying ban. Oh, Verhoeven over the curb. See, that's what I mean. You just stray a little bit too wide, and you're going to bottom out. These cars do not like it when you go that far wide.
No, they do not. So Verhoeven will, guessing he'll come into the pits and try and bang out one final lap as you see Octavian Arsu fastest in all 3 sectors. Justin Janssen now through turn 12. Got a little bit close to those curbs on the exit of 12. Through 13, he'll use a little bit higher entry through the final corner. DRS open, up to the line. And the Williams up to P8.
A solid time there for Janssen. And Gabriel Rico has invalidated his lap time. He might finish the lap, or he probably will pull into the pits. There he goes. Currently, everybody in the pits, preparing to head out again. One final time. Obviously, we don't know how the weather is in the race, so this could, if it's wet, then it could be affecting the setups and obviously the qualifying, just like that.
So with 3 minutes to go, as we see, this is Justin Janssen. Oh, around he goes. That's the exit of turn 12. He just got on the power a little bit too early and the back end came around on him. So easy to do around this track. Certainly the undulation really doesn't help. Janssen will pull into the pits with 3:15 to go.
Yeah, unfortunate for Cortez. He was doing so well. qualifying over just like that. It's not the first time we've seen somebody be disqualified that like, I mean, I think Anton's been disqualified like 3 times during qualifying before. So
Yeah.
he knows how it feels.
I think we had a couple of people disqualified last week for going the wrong way.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the issue is. I'm pretty sure the track is a one-way track, and I'm not sure why it seems to have issues.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it says don't drive that way. Oh, Verhoeven got really close to that wall on the exit of the final corner. But it is a one-way street. Certainly cannot drive backwards. Verhoeven through the first sector. He got oh so close to the wall. He'll take a little bit of a high line through turn number 3. Yellow flags in sector 1. Not sure what that's for. But right now it's clear for Verhoeven. He's 1/100th of a second down on Octavian Ursu's first sector. So the AlphaTauri driver's got to be pretty happy so far.
Yeah, he's looking at a really strong time if he can finish this lap. See how he's going to do through the middle sector. A lot of time to gain through here.
A lot of guys on laps ahead of him and behind him. Got a McLaren ahead. He's got 4 guys behind. McLaren's got to be careful. He'll pick it up through turn 13 and 14. Shouldn't affect Verhoeven. Might get a little bit of a slipstream out of the final corner. AlphaTauri DRS open up to the line. Can he challenge pole? No, only good enough for 8th. Ooh, that's Chebatarov across the line. Ukrainian has done well so far to get himself into 2nd. His qualifying session, 50 seconds remain. You've got to get your final laps in now. Chebatarov will be the first of our leaders to put a final lap in.
Oh, he's invalidated.
And
this
he's
time.
invalidated.
That is qualifying over for Chebatar. He's not going to be able to get another lap time. Him, the previous race winner here in ZANDVOORT, will not improve. Here's Octavian Ursu through the first sector. Currently dominating the timing wars. You can see has a faster sector every time. Dallin McTeer, he's just started his qualifying lap, so maybe he might have something to say about that one. Octavian Ursu. He's purple in the first sector. He's improved once more.
Octavian Ursu through turn 8 and 9. He's purple so far. I have to see what kind of a lap time Dallin McTeer puts in. Through the back straightaway. He'll set up for turn number 11. Through the chicane, Romeo goes up to 3rd. Dallin McTeer now. He'll race his way around turn number 9. Down the back straightaway, he went yellow in sector 1. He's got to pick it up a little bit of time in sector 2. It doesn't seem like it's good enough. Ursu didn't choose to improve. McTeer through turn 13. He'll use the banking through turn 14. Is the Alpine on pull? Up to the line. He's not fast enough. He's good enough for only 5th. Kasper Grabiet's up to 2nd. He'll jump ahead of Chebatarov. And it looks like that will conclude qualifying. Octavian Ursu on pole. Do have one last... No, Romeo has finished his lap. So Octavian Ursu on pole for ZANDVOORT.
Octavian Ursu on pole. Where have we heard of that one before? You can see Octavian Ursu putting 1.5 tenths on the field. Kasper Grabiec, by the way, going up to P2. Front row there for him. You do have to wonder, though, if Antonio Cortez didn't invalidate, what time would he be putting on the board? Because he had a 0.2, I think, from his first lap.
Yeah, that a banker lap of a .2 is very impressive from the Spaniard. We'll have to see how he works his way up through the field from 16th.
With that pole position, Octavian Ursu solidifies himself with 11 pole positions in his career, the most a driver has ever got in F1 Tier A.
He is currently he's also the leader on wins, I believe, as well.
That is correct, he is.
We get ready to go here in Zandvoort. It's a beautiful day. We've got 16 cars on the grid. Octavian Ursu on pole. The fastest the fastest man in qualifying starts from the back. So we'll have to see if that Aston Martin can work his way up through the field. What will the strategy be? Get ready to go to the grid for round number 7 from the Netherlands. The drivers are ready. We get ready to go to 5 red lights. Lights out. And we are underway. Tier A is underway from Zandvoort. Octavian Ursu gets a great start, but we've got a crash at the back. That's one of the Alpha Tauris. That's Mahach in the wall. We've got an Alfa Romeo, I believe, in the wall. Cortez has a 5-second time penalty for a collision with Daniel Bodnar. A Haas in the wall as well.
What the hell just happened? We have a safety car out on lap 1. It looks like Mahach there, he just lost it under traction. And he just collected Antonio Brancati. The man in P2, Octavian's championship rival, is out.
What a wild start. It's like the 1997 US 500 all over again. Octavian Ursu. He started on pole. Grabiet's got an okay start. Romeo tried to get by the Haas. He wasn't quite able to get by him. We look at the current conditions. 66-82. Oh, Verhoeven's out of the race.
Verhoeven's lost it.
Tim Verhoeven's lost it at the exit of turn number 9.
Oh my god.
That's turn 10. So we are down 3 cars on lap 1.
These guys can't keep it together, man.
Thomas Vink, though. Thomas Vink up 8 positions from the start. That is awful impressive from the Red Bull. We've got cars pulling into the pits, probably with damage. Thomas Vink into the pits. Daniel Bodnar into the pits.
Well, Thomas Vink, he's fixing his front wing damage there, and he's going on to the hards. The question does remain: can the hards do the whole race? It's going to be a hell of a stint for Thomas Vink.
Well, we did see, how many laps did Ocon do?
He did quite a few, but that is real life, so...
It's similar.
Well, now, the tides are in Octavian's favour. He can't win the championship, technically, on this race. But... by all means, it gives him a pretty good shot. Antonio will not get any points.
So going back to that start, what did you see at the start?
I mean, all I saw, straight off the line, I wish we had a replay system, but it looked like Mahach there. He just lost it on the traction, went sideways off the start. And Antonio was just a passenger. There's nothing he could have done.
Yeah, that's awfully close to what it looked like. Back to. We'll have to see after the race what it looked like as we run under safety car on lap number, I believe we're on 3. Thomas Vink with a 5
well,
pit lane.
well, he looks like he wanted to go and change back to the mediums. He didn't think he could have survived the whole race. Understandable. But that 5-second time penalty, not ideal.
No, it is not.
I've just had a word from the Alpha Tauri team radio. Apparently there was a banana peel on the track, and that's what's caused him to spin.
Oh, a banana peel on the track. Well,
yeah.
that is...
Realistic.
That is... Yes.
I mean, understandable. If you have a banana peel, it's an illegal move. We don't know which driver did it, but sometimes they just get away with this kind of actions.
Yes. Yes.
I wonder when who's gonna bring out the red shell. I mean, or the blue shell. Sorry,
that's red. Oh, yeah.
The blue shell is the one that goes to the lead. So maybe that's the only way to stop Melon. We need a blue shell.
I think Thomas Vink here could get a bullet. He could put himself inside the points with a nice bullet. We get ready to go. Here, lap number 3. Octavian Arsu will lead us back to the green flag. Casper Grabiet's running in 2nd. Romeo Gagliotti running 3rd. Anton Chebatarov running 4th. And Dallin McTeer rounds out the top 5. We head around the final corner, just warming up the tires a little bit. Octavian will keep everybody stacked up, and he is finally on the power. Casper Grabietz didn't get a great restart. They weave down the front straightaway. Cortez to the outside of Eliasson in turn number 1, and there goes the Aston Martin, and he's into the wall.
Cortez was trying to go around the outside there, and he lost it on traction. Looks like someone just spilled oil on the track, because people just cannot keep all 4 tires planted.
I believe it was Bernie Ecclestone that proposed the theory of bringing out sprinklers to make the track wet. And it seems like Bernie Ecclestone is back in charge of F1 as Thomas Vink trying to chase down Daniel Bodnar through turn number 8. He's not close enough through 8 and 9. He'll use the inside line, get a great exit out of 10. Down the back straightaway they go, and the Red Bull is out into 7th.
I do remember he does have that 5-second time penalty. And who's that?
Oh.
That's Chebatarov. He's lost it. He's lost it again. He's lost it. He was running fine in P3 and he's just spun. Chebatarov, another costly mistake from him. How many? You gotta ask that question at this point. How many more mistakes is gonna come from this driver? I mean, he's got the pace, but he just cannot keep it on track. Here comes Max Housley now. All over Cameron Clark. He's going to go for a move soon. Round the outside. He's going to try it. Will he go for the switchback off the banking? He's got a huge exit there. Cameron Clark is holding the inside. Max Housley trying to find a way around. But it looks like there's just no opening. Obviously, ZANDVOORT, super difficult track to overtake.
Ooh, that Mercedes just got a little bit loose on the exit of turn 7. Housley tried to go to the inside in 8. He was unable to get the move done. The Haas will stay right in the tire tracks of the Mercedes. Looks like he's got a great run out of turn number 10. Max Housley down the back straightaway they go. Housley will look to the inside in 11. He's not close enough. He tried the slow in fast out through turn 12. He'll look to the outside now in turn 13. The Haas just cannot find a way around the silver arrow. Right behind him on the banking. He'll go to the inside, down the main straightaway. Thomas Vink for the fastest lap of the race. He's up to 6th. Max Housley to the inside of Cameron Clark in turn 1. And the Haas finally has the move done.
There he goes, up to P8, Max Housley. Had a bit of a rough start, but he's recovering it slowly. As you see, up ahead, is that Cortez? He's lost it into the gravel again.
Cortez not having a fun time. He is now 1 lap down in 13th. As the yellow flag comes out, he will stay out of the way of these leaders. Octavian Ursu, the leader. Kasper Grabietz running 2nd. Thomas Venk right now in 6th. He'll open DRS. He's got an okay run on Justin Janssen. Not close enough, as looks like Cortez has lost it once more in turn 9. Daniel Bodnar with Max Housley breathing down his neck. Through turn 13 they go. The Haas right on the rear wing of the Aston Martin out of the final corner. Max Housley to the inside down the main straightaway, and those medium tires are really working for him. He's up to 7th now.
Max Housley putting in a shift right now. Bringing us the action.
Behind them, Gabriel Rico got by Cameron Clark for 9th. To move the Red Bull up to 9th. Max Housley started 6th. He's back to 7th. He did lose some positions off the start. He had to pit, I believe. As we've got a yellow flag. That is the final sector. That's Eliasson, he might be in the wall in turn 14.
Lost his front wing.
That is definitely a tough section of the track, because Eliasson will go for another lap, unsure why, as Kasper Grabietz now back up front, trying to chase down our leader, Octavian Ursu. He was a 1/10 of a second slower that last lap, but it's Thomas Vink in the midfield who's really bringing the pace. He's 4/10 of a second behind Dallin McTeer, and I believe he's put in 3 fastest laps in a row. Red Bull trying to work his way back up to the front. Here's Thomas Vink. He was half a second faster than Dallin McTeer on the previous lap. He lost a little bit of time through turn number 3, but that Red Bull looks like it's on rails.
Housley's already caught up to Janssen here. I mean, he's catching up to drivers left and right, and someone's gone off there. And it looks like it's Cortez. He's letting people by. I mean, he does know that you can let people by without going into the grass, right?
I'm sure he might know that, but with how tight this track is, pulling off into the grass, I believe, is maybe the best move. As Max Housley on these medium tires, he's right on the rear wing of Justin Janssen through the final corner. The Haas is an absolute rocket ship right now. He'll go to the inside down the main straightaway with the help of DRS, and Max Housley is up to 6th.
There he goes, another overtake from Max Housley, doing the work for Haas right now. Obviously, Grabietz, let's not be mistaken here. He's doing super well to stick with Octavian. Not many have been able to do it this season. He's doing quite well, good job of it as well.
Cortez has pulled into the pits and retired. He was 2 laps down. That was kind of the end of his day, as Gabriel Rico will get by Daniel Bodnar. Thomas Vink now running in 5th. Max Housley 3.1 seconds behind him. This rocket ship of a Red Bull trying to get close to Dallin McTeer. He doesn't want to get too close and burn off these medium tires, but he does want to get by the Alpine desperately. Around the final corner they go. He'll have DRS, but he's kind of stuck in a DRS train at this point. Kasper Grabietz has really closed up to the back of Octavian Ursu now. Through turn number 2, and now 3. This Haas breathing down the neck, and he goes around! He goes around to the exit of turn 3. He got on the power just a touch too early, And we are under our second full course caution of the day.
Unforced error. Unforced error. Grabietz was just had no reason to do that. He was trying to, he was pushing to stay with Octavian up ahead, obviously. But it was very unnecessary. Obviously, he himself is fighting for P3 in the championship. He's quite lucky to still be in this session, to be fair. He's only got that front wing damage.
I agree. You know, it certainly could have been a lot worse for the Haas, as Eliasson's still running out on track without a front wing. Not entirely sure why. Maybe he's testing a new aero part for McLaren. They certainly need it. As Octavian Arzu down the main straightaway, lap number 10. Maybe Eliasson is playing the role of safety car. Maybe he's replaced the safety car. I don't know. Thomas Vink, Kasper Grabietz, Gabriel Rico all into the pits at the back. This could be interesting. It's a little bit early, I would think, to pit. But all those guys, I believe, were on the medium tires. I don't know. We'll have to see.
I mean, I think those on the mediums have to box, surely. Did none of them really pull into the pit lane?
Well, Thomas Vink came in. Gabriel Rico came in. Kasper Grabietz came in. But Max Hasley's tire wear isn't too terrible. What's Dallin McTier's tire wear looking like?
Let me see. Looking good.
Yeah, it's about the same. Max Hasley maybe with a little bit more tire wear, but I mean, if the tire wear is really going to be as close as it seems so far, granted we are only on lap 10 and we have had 2 full course cautions, but the tire wear is going to be as close as it seems so far. I think the medium tires are the ones to be on.
I mean, if we look now, Daniel Bodnar, I don't know if he's going to make it to the end of the race, but Thomas Vink, he definitely will make it to the end of the race. And he's a pit stop ahead of everybody else. He also doesn't have that 5-second time penalty anymore because he served it in the pits.
Really, all he has to do is stay within about 22-ish seconds of Octavian Arzu.
Yeah. And then he'll inherit the lead.
I think it's a great strategy.
Yeah, I mean, not bad from Thomas Vink right now.
He's got his teammate behind him. We know he's got a rocket ship of a car. He's run laps faster than anybody so far today. So I think it might work out in the Red Bull's favor.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I'm with you on that. I think he's net P1 at the moment. Everyone ahead of him, I'm pretty sure has to stop. Only Daniel Bodnar, I'm not too sure, because obviously he's around 27% on the wear. We're on lap 12 out of 36, so yeah, he's definitely gonna have to stop. Obviously, though, towards the end of the race, drivers like Fabian and those guys at the front, they're gonna be on such a pace advantage when Thomas Vink is on super old hards. Obviously, he's going to have to do 24 laps on them.
But he does have his teammate behind him to help him defend. And the first 3 or 4 laps will be under safety car. So, I mean, Eliasson, he will probably catch up by the end of this lap, which will send us back to green flag racing. But he's still an entire pit stop ahead of everybody.
And looks like we're waiting for Eliasson to catch up. Quite a ways behind. He's got to hope that the safety car doesn't come in this lap. But he's the only one going at racing speed right now. So let's watch him.
Through turn 1, a beautiful line from the McLaren. He got a great exit out of turn 1. Through turn 2, he'll straddle the white line a little bit through 3. Got a good exit through the end of this first sector. Keeping it nice and tidy. A good lap so far from the McLaren. Through turns 7 and 8. I guess that's 8 and 9. And he has almost caught up to the back of the field, and the safety car is in this lap.
Perfect timing for the McLaren driver.
Safety car in this lap. Octavian Ursu will lead us back to green flag racing. Romeo Gagliotti runs second. Dallin McTeer runs third. Max Housley runs fourth on those medium tires. And Justin Janssen runs fifth. Thomas Vink, Gabriel Rico, and Casper Grabietz were the only people that pit under the safety car. Thomas Vink onto the hard tires. And Thomas Vink make it to the end of this race on those hard tires. We are about to find out as Octavian Ursu will take off here in just a moment. There he goes, and we are back to green flag racing in Zandvoort. Dallin McTeer trying to close in on Romeo Chebatarov. Didn't get a great restart. That's Thomas Vink to the outside of Cameron Clark in turn number 1. There goes Chebatarov. He almost wrecked into the Aston Martin. And we've got a McLaren off. That's Eliasson. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1. The McLaren did get back going again. Thomas Vink all the way up to 7th. He'll challenge Daniel Bodner down this back straightaway.
Thomas Vink up to 6th, and here comes Grabietz. He's got a huge run. There into the next corner, turn 8. He's got a huge run on Daniel Bodner, and he's got through on him down the inside. What a move there. He was so much later on the brakes. It's quite an unorthodox overtaking spot, but he managed to pull it off.
It is certainly an unorthodox overtaking spot, but those fresh tires really seem to make a difference for these guys charging from the back of the field. Max Housley on the medium tires trying to chase down Dallin McTeer through turn 13. The Haas not close enough to make a move. We've seen him make so many moves out of turn 14 today. He'll get a great run out of the final corner, trying to chase down the Alpine, not close enough, as Gabriel Rico to the inside of, that's Daniel Bodner in turn 1. Side by side they go. Up ahead, Thomas Vink and Casper Grabietz will battle. Casper Grabietz not really in the same race as Thomas Vink, so Vink will let him go. And Gabriel Rico swiftly by Daniel Bodner for 8th. I think that was one of the smartest plays we've seen all day from Thomas Vink. He knows Grabietz is on those medium tires. He's not going to make it to the end of the race. They're not really in the same race. So Thomas Vink, rather than fighting Grabietz, he just kind of let him go. I think that was a really smart move.
Pay attention because Max Housley's on those mediums. There's still life in him.
He does certainly have life in those mediums. He's also got 75% ERS. He's using that overtake button just a little bit out of turn 14. DRS enabled this lap. Thomas Vink, the fastest lap of the race. That Red Bull continues to show up here in Zandvoort. Max Housley, a little bit of oversteer out of turn 1. The Haas closing in on Dallin McTeer. Not close enough to make a move, though. It seems like Dallin McTeer can just keep him at about a car length to a car length and a half away. And that kind of shuts down the Haas. As we run lap 16, 20 laps to go here in Zandvoort.
Yeah, Thomas Vink, obviously, his race is a lot different to everyone else. He's at quite an advantage tyre-wise. He just needs to make sure that he can coax them to the end of this race. Because if he can, he's looking at a very, very strong finish.
Kasper Grabietz closing in on Justin Jensen for 5th. These medium tires really starting to wear on the Haas. But he is making up ground. I assume the plan is to come in at the same time as the guys in front. Get himself back up into 6th, maybe 5th. As Max Housley's medium tires begin to wear off. Kasper Grabietz closing in on Janssen. Janssen will run a little bit wide through turn 3. That's going to allow the Haas to gain by about half a car length down this back straightaway. Not close enough to make a move into turn number 7. But he's all over the rear wing now. He can't quite get by him. Kasper Grabietz right on the gearbox of the Williams through turns 9 and 10. He'll have DRS down this back straightaway. He made a little bit of a mistake at the exit of turn 10, and Janssen scooted away by about 2 or 3 car lengths. Kasper Grabietz will stay in 6th.
Now, the leaders have been out on those tires for quite a long time. You've got to wonder, will these guys, or when will these guys, sorry, peel into the pits?
Romeo Gagliotti, the fastest lap of the race, but Kasper Grabietz will go down the inside of Justin Janssen in turn 1, and the Haas is up into 5th. Those medium tires really starting to do the work for him as Thomas Vink closes in on Justin Janssen behind. Oh, Janssen got a lot squirrely out of turn 3. The Red Bull unable to take advantage of it so far. He has closed in on Justin Janssen. Janssen will protect the inside through turn 8 and 9. Red Bull, honestly, his best chance to make a move is probably down the back straightaway into turn 11. There's hard tires trying to make it to the end of the race. Thomas Vink not close enough down this back straightaway, even though he has DRS. But he will back off just a tiny bit.
Gagliotti there, setting the fastest lap of the session. He's closed in a little bit to Octavian Ursu. I'm warning, has he done enough to pick up DRS? Octavian Ursu there peels into the pit lane. He's going to be the first one into the box.
Where does he come out in relation to Vink? Vink is already by him. Vink will get by Justin Janssen. Vink up to 5th currently. It's all falling in Thomas Vink's favor. Octavian Ursu at pit exit now. Still waiting for him to get back onto the track, and he is out onto the track. I have to see what the gap is next time by. Kasper Grabietz running in 4th just ahead of Thomas Vink. He's closed in on his teammate Max Housley. So it's a Alfa Romeo out front. Dallin McTeer in an Alpine 2nd. It's a Haas party in 3rd and 4th. And then Thomas Vink and Gabriel Rico 5th and 7th. And Justin Janssen splits them in 6th. Romeo Gagliotti out front on those hard tires. Around the final corner, I presume he'll come into the pits this time by. And he is into the pits along with Dallin McTeer. Max Housley will stay out. Kasper Grabietz will stay out. Thomas Vink is already by. It looks like Octavian Ursu is... what would that be? That gonna be about 12 seconds, 15 seconds behind Max Housley, which means he's about 13 behind Thomas Vink, I believe. Actually, it's more than that. That's gap to leader, so he's 15 seconds behind Thomas Vink.
Yeah, so Thomas Fink, obviously, if he boxes, he's going to be coming out behind Octavian. So his option right now is to try and hang out as long as possible. We check his tire wear, currently at 26%. He's done about 9, nearly 10 laps. So to do another 16, he's definitely going to be risking a puncture, but I think he's just got to go for it.
Absolutely. I think he does have to go for it. Kasper Grabietz will get DRS from his teammate Max Housley down this main straightaway. Grabietz obviously on those medium tires. He's going to stretch him out as long as he can. He certainly cannot make it to the end of the race. There's a lot of guys on hard tires, as Octavian Arsu, the fastest lap of the race, currently in 6th. He's really closing this gap down to Kasper Grabietz. I don't know that Vink's going to be able to hold on for the entire race, but there are 3 cars in between Octavian and Thomas Vink, as Dallin McTeer will battle with Max Housley at the exit of turn 3. Housley just out in front of McTeer. McTeer to the inside in turn 7. Certainly not a spot where you see a lot of overtakes. The Alpine will get successfully by the Haas.
What an overtake in such a fast part of the track. Alan McTeer. That's one to remember.
Was certainly one of the more beautiful overtakes we've seen. As we continue to run here in Zandvoort, lap 21 of 36. Kasper Grabietz the leader. He does have to make a pit stop. He's on the medium tires. We know he can't make it to the end. He's just trying to stretch it out as far as possible. Thomas Vink in 2nd, we think, can make it to the end on a set of hard tires. The question is, will Octavian Arsu catch him before the end? Here you can see Kasper Grabietz's tire wear. Arian, how do you think this is going to play out?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Grabietz does have to make that stop. The question just is right now, can Vink make it to the end of the race? I think he's going to be looking at, honestly, around in that puncture territory. About 75% is when you're risking a puncture, these tires. And honestly, I think Vink could do it. I think he could do it. Zandvoort doesn't have the highest wear on tires. I think it's possible.
There are 3 cars between Octavian and Thomas Vink. Octavian is catching one of them right now. It is Cameron Clark as we ride along with Max Housley through turn number 13. Dallin McTeer just up ahead. All of these guys on medium tires. Max Housley obviously started on the hards, went to the mediums. Max Housley, the fastest lap of the race. We know that Haas is an absolute rocket ship. He's about 2.5 seconds behind Octavian Arsu. I'm sorry, 4.5 seconds behind Octavian Arsu. Is Arsu catching Cameron Clark? The question is, he got him by 1.5 seconds the previous lap. The question is, how much will he get held up by Cameron Clark?
Yeah, Cameron has yet to stop in this race. He's on super old tires now. 23 laps. And you can see how much Octavian is gaining through this section. So much more front end, so much more grip.
The best thing for Thomas Vink would be if Cameron Clark can hold on to this position through Sector 1. It looks like that won't happen. But if he can hold on to it through Sector 1, maybe use a little bit of overtake, that could hold up Octavian a ton, as Cameron Clark will peel off into the pits, and Octavian Arsu up into 4th. Cameron Clark with a 5-second speeding penalty in the pit lane, certainly not working out in his favor.
I think, if anything, Cameron's just helped Octavian there. He had DRS, he just gifted him that DRS down the main straight, and that's just only going to gain him time. He didn't lose too much behind. Obviously, Derriere in this game, not too much of a factor either, so yeah, Octavian not looking too bad. Not much time for the leader. About 6 seconds.
It looks like the gap between Vink and Ursu is about... It looks like it's about 8 or 9 seconds. Well, now it's up to 10.
It's better to try and eyeball it, to be honest, from the track map. He's a sector. He's pretty much 3/4 of a sector behind.
Yeah, it's about 9 seconds is what I'm gonna go with. As Dallin McTeer running in 6th in front of Max Housley. Lap 24 of 36, 12 laps to go here in Zandvoort. You've got a thriller of a finish. Our points leader trying to chase down Thomas Vink. Vink really needs Kasper Grabietz to pull into the pits. He's holding Vink up just a tiny bit. I think once Grabietz pulls into the pits, Vink will be able to increase the pace just a little bit. You watch Dallin McTeer and Max Housley do battle through Sector 1. Max Housley just trying to chase down the Alpine. The Alpine just nipped him into turn 7 a couple laps ago when Max Housley came into the pits.
I don't know what Grabietz's strategy is. His tires are super old. I mean, surely he's not thinking about going the distance. He's definitely going to have to pit.
He is definitely going to have to pit, but if he can slow down just a tiny bit, he can give Thomas Vink a little DRS. Grabietz into the pits. Not quite sure what the 3-second time penalty is.
I'm pretty sure that's a fake news penalty I've ever seen.
Okay. So, a fake news time penalty for Kasper Grabietz. Thomas Vink, currently the leader. Octavian Ursu about 8 or 9 seconds behind. That Ferrari is just so fast. He's got to catch him in the next 10 laps. Max Housley currently running in 6th. He's spent most of his ERS trying to stay with Dallin McTeer. Looks like he doesn't have enough to get around Dallin McTeer. Through turn 7 they go. 6th gear through turn 7. Little bit of brake through turn 8. Deep on the brakes into turn 9. Not quite sure. We'll have DRS out of turn 10. Not anywhere near close enough to get by him.
Yeah, he's just sticking with him, but the ERS that he's burned through on his in-lap and out-lap in the pit stop phase, not helping him. Just got no acceleration out of the corners. He just cannot keep up with Dallin. Obviously, Dallin is notorious for having super low downforce setups. And his straight line speed is quite difficult to overcome.
Yes, it is. With 10 laps to go here in Zandvoort. Thomas Vink, the race leader. Does he have to stop again? Will Octavian Ursu catch him? All these questions and more will be answered in the final 10 laps. There you can see Thomas Vink's tire wear. 16-lap-old hard tires. What I think is important, though, is that the farther we get into this run, the more equal the pace will become. Octavian Ursu will wear out those medium tires, and eventually they'll be pretty close to Thomas Vink's tire wear, I would assume. He's got to do 16 laps on this set of mediums, so as we watch Anton Chebatarov try and catch up to Daniel Bodnar for 9th, the question is, will Vink be able to stay out front? And it seems that way so far.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to do another 9 laps on those tyres. It's going to be a bit of a stretch. I was just counting it. The gap is about 8 seconds from Ursu to the lead. And that gap is only going to come down as we go further on in this race. Because Vink's tyres are going to get older. And, well, it's not like Ursu's the ones that are going to get newer, but his tyres got more life in them. And he's not going to have to do any saving of sorts.
It is about 8 seconds. as we watch Max Housley try and catch Dallin McTeer at 28 of 36, only 8 laps to go. Octavian's really got to turn up the pace in these final 8 laps if he wants to catch Thomas Vink. Max Housley running behind Dallin McTeer through turn 11 and 12. The Haas not close enough. He really hasn't been close enough. Dallin McTeer's really been able to keep him at arm's length since he got by him in turn 7. Max Housley will have DRS down the main straightaway. He'll look to the inside. Not close enough to make a move. Casper Grabby gets the fastest lap of the race.
Casper is not too far from these guys. So he's got the newest tyres, and if he's got that pace that he's showing, sets the fastest lap of the race, he could be catching up to this lot. And bring the fight for P5.
I believe Ursu closed in on Vink by maybe a couple tenths that last lap. The important part is that Ursu still has to get by Vink's teammate Gabriel Rico. He is closed in on Gabriel Rico. Gap still about 1.2 seconds. So with Octavian behind Gabriel Rico, if Rico can just hold him up ever so slightly, that might allow Thomas Vink to scoot away. Out of the final corner they go.
Yeah, I mean, Gabriel is not going to make this easy for Octavian. His teammate is obviously fighting for a win. He's fighting for P2 himself.
Nobody would expect Rico to make it easy as we watch Max Housley through turn number 3. The Haas still stalking the Alpine down this back straightaway, not close enough. Back to the Gabriel Rico Octavian Ursu battle. Octavian will have DRS out of turn 10. He's not close enough to make a move into turn 11. That's good news for Gabriel Rico. Just keeping him at arm's length, but it looks like Octavian's closed it to about 3 car lengths at the exit of turn 12. Here comes the Ferrari. He was 0.6 of a second faster than Rico that last lap. He'll have DRS down the main straightaway. He's got a little bit of a toe. Rico will defend to the inside. Now the outside into turn 1. There goes Octavian Ursu to the inside, and he is clear and gone. Gabriel Rico will not try and fight back. He's on 63% hard tires, so Rico really will just kind of back off. But now the battle turns to Octavian Ursu. He's got to catch and pass Thomas Vink in these final 5 laps. Chebatarov catching Daniel Bodnar through turn 3. The Aston Martin will scoot away by about 3 car lengths at the exit of turn 3. And that green Aston Martin just keeping Chebatarov at arm's length through turn 7.
Yeah, Chebatarov has not managed to close up any further than this for Daniel. He's doing a good job out there, the Aston Martin.
He is certainly keeping Chebatarov kind of far away, as Max Housley still unable to close in on Dallin McTeer as he straddles the white line through the final corner. Octavian Ursu really has not pulled away from Gabriel Rico. Still gap is still about half a second. Chebatarov with DRS. He'll close in on Daniel Bodnar. He'll look to the inside of the Aston Martin, and the Alpine will get the move done in turn 1. 5 laps to go here in Zandvoort. Thomas Vink out front. Octavian Ursu giving chase. You see Vink through turn 9. He's got 60% wear. He's done a better job of keeping his tires underneath him than his teammate. Question is, how quickly is Ursu catching Vink? Ursu's tire wear is about the same as Thomas Vink's. Through
Thomas
turn
Vink, the
13.
tire whisperer, eh? 60%. He's done a lot more laps than his teammate. And I think he's going to be home and dry. 60%. He's only got to do 4 more laps on this tire. And I don't think that gap is coming down fast enough.
It doesn't seem to be. He caught him by 0.7 of a second that last lap. So Ursu is catching him. The question is, what is the gap now? It's about 4 seconds. He's brought it down to about 4 seconds. He's closing in by 0.7 a lap. That's not enough. He would need an extra lap or 2. As we watch Max Housley close in on Dallin McTeer. He's still running behind him as he has for about the last 15 laps or so. Max Housley still with no ERS. He's using all of it to keep up with Dallin McTeer. He's got DRS, using a little bit of the overtake button into turn 11. Not close enough. McTeer will sneak away by about half a car length, maybe 2, out of the chicane turn 12. Octavian Ursu, he's using ERS. He's down to 22%. We've got a yellow flag up ahead. That is Elias Son. That's going to slow Thomas Vink up a little bit. He did slow Thomas Vink up, as Octavian Ursu has now caught Elias Son.
Octavian Ursu, he's really, really closing in. That last lap, 0.7 again. He's catching 0.7 a lap. Time is about 4 seconds to the leader. And he's not got that much time left. 3 laps left. If you just do the maths, it's not enough.
It's not enough, but drivers say it makes a difference when you can see the car ahead, and Octavian can just see Thomas Vink in the distance. Vink through turn 11, Ursu through turn 11, through turn 12. That red Ferrari giving chase. He's so close to catching that Red Bull. He might just be a lap or 2 short. Vink's at 67% wear on that front left. Will that come into play? 2 laps to go in Zandvoort. It's all to play for. Thomas Vink, the race leader, through turn 1. Gap down to 1.8 seconds. Will it be enough? Octavian might need just 1 more lap. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. That's Max Housley. He's around in turn 1. Kasper Grabietz will take 6th. Daniel Bodnar to the outside of Chebatarov through turn 2. Now the inside in turn 3. He's got the preferred line. Chebatarov trying to use that high line to perfection. Can't use it. They'll battle side by side through turns 4, 5, and 6. And it looks like the Aston Martin of Daniel Bodnar is back out in front. Back to the race lead. Octavian Ursu has really closed in on Thomas Vink this lap. He might not have DRS this time, but he should have DRS into turn 11. Will that make a difference? Here comes the Ferrari. Gap is about 20 car lengths down the main straightaway. White flag is out. Ursu closed in by 0.6 that last lap. Thomas Vink just has to hold on for 12 more corners. Octavian Ursu really closing in through turn 3. Romeo Gagliotti right on the back of Gabriel Rico through turn 3. But here comes Octavian Ursu. He can see Thomas Vink just up the road. He's close into about 10 car lengths through turn 8. He'll go deep on the brakes in turn 9. He's really closed this gap down. Through turn 10, he'll have DRS. At the exit of turn 10, Romeo trying to get around Gabriel Rico. He'll go slow in, fast out. He'll have DRS. He'll get around Gabriel Rico. but Octavian's closed the gap down to 0.3 of a second through the final 2 corners. Turn 13 and 14. It's not going to be enough. Thomas Vink around the final corner. Thomas Vink up to the line. Thomas Vink wins in Zandvoort. Octavian Ursu will come home second, and Romeo will round out the podium in third.
What a strategy there for the Dutchman. He's going to win in his home Grand Prix, starting from last, by the way.
15th to first. That's the second time in 2 weeks we've seen a last to first.
It's been about a whole season since we've seen Thomas Vink at the top step of that podium. He's back on the first position, boys. He's got another race win. It's been a long time.
It certainly has, and what a strategy, what a finish that was. Driver of the day, Thomas Vink, and he absolutely deserved it.
Take a look at that final standings. Thomas Vink, Octavian closing to 0.5 tenth. That's what the margins were, man. So close.
He
That's
needed
about a one lap difference. Yeah, I was just about to say.
He needed one more lap. Here you can see the rest of the grid. All of the many incidents.
Yeah. Well, it looks like that's going to be the end of the Dutch Grand Prix. Ray. Next week, Thierry is going to be racing around Monza. So make sure you guys keep your eyes peeled for that one. It's always a classic. And tomorrow, we're going to have the Cup racing at not Hungary. Spain, Barcelona, Catalonia. And TB's version of events of Netherlands also tomorrow. So, thank you everybody for watching. It's going to be goodbye from me. It's going to be goodbye from Adam.
See ya.
See ya.